flow. When you learn that, you step into this confidence, you step into this aura that just radiates, and you just become a different you become your higher self. All day long. Hey, it's Leleglamxo and welcome back to my channel. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about the divine feminine. It is a term that's being used quite a lot and I want to break it down for you. So if you like these types of videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned. So right off the bat, I'm going to start with the actual definition of divine feminine and basically what I gathered from it. And if you have other opinions, you can go ahead and write them down below. But basically, the divine feminine is all about receiving, nurturing, openness, and a lot of women now especially are in their wounded feminine or they're in their masculine. And this is due to the fact that just the roles got kind of reversed nowadays. This could be an unpopular opinion, and I'm just being 100 with you guys. The roles have reversed and women are feeling as if they have to really prove their value when it used to not be that way. I think this stems a lot because women are not only bearing children, they're working super hard, and they're also contributing to the overall household. With that being said, they're doing a lot more giving than they are receiving. So what happens is women just feel as though, I could do this all on my own, and they give up their divine feminine in the process. So let's say they are a woman who simply just wants to live what everybody keeps coining as the soft life, and they've just have been in this masculine energy for so long. It's very hard for them to receive. They're out into the dating world and they find it difficult to go on dates because they don't feel as though they're worthy of whatever the case may be, like a nice date or a nice gift or whatever the case may be. And it all is because that woman has been in her masculine for so long, just feeling as if she can only depend on herself and nobody else. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being an independent woman. But at the same time, you are also feminine. And do not forget this energy. It is very powerful. And what happens with the woman, especially when she's in her masculine, she's giving a lot of her power away. We are so powerful. We are able to create children, raise them, do so many things, work every month, that monthly cycle that comes, and we manage through everything. And at the same time, we need to know how to take back our power and remain in your divine feminine. You could still have those masculine traits, because if you're a businesswoman, obviously you're going to need making sure that you have a balance of both the feminine and the masculine. But as women, we should really make sure that we're tapping into the divine. And by doing so, that's making sure that you're showing yourself love on a daily basis. You're doing things that you like to do. You're doing things that make you feel worthy. You're making sure that scenarios that you're in do not make you feel less than. Anything and everything should empower you, okay? So if you feel any type of angst, anxiety, that should be an indicator for you to remove yourself. And those indicators are you learning to become more intuitive. That intuition is your divine feminine. Yes, that is actually your divine feminine. So yes, I'm talking to women. I'm also talking to men too, because we have both. It's the yin and it's the yang. And when you put them both together, you have balance. So some self-care practices that you could do is simply doing your skincare routine. If you get up in the mornings and you like making your smoothies or your tea, while you just take a minute to just reflect on the day, of journaling, just taking some time, dancing, these are things that you could do as your self-care routine that keeps your vibration high and it keeps you in your divine feminine. So I can't talk about this subject without talking about blocks. When I mention blocks, I'm talking about, remember how I mentioned masculine and some women being in their masculine more so than their feminine. So those are blocks. That woman does not feel safe in her femininity. So you now need to sit down with a pen and paper, okay? Sit down with a pen and paper and write the things that may be affecting you from being in that we're going to use a relationship, for example. Let's say that you're a single woman and you're finding it very difficult to open up to your partner. You're finding that you're in and out of relationships that just don't coincide with your higher self, and you keep pushing people away. You need to then look at what these blocks are. And these could be good relationship that was supposed to happen and flourish, but you have these blocks because you don't feel safe. Are these blocks coming up from childhood traumas? Are these blocks coming up from being jaded from past relationships? Are these blocks coming from somewhere that you have just buried so deeply and you just are not allowing to come up to the surface? And by doing so, you just bury yourself in your work, you bury yourself in just something to keep you busy so that you do not deal with it. And working through your blocks, and if you're having a hard time figuring out where these blocks are, you can also seek therapy. Therapy is a really good way of figuring out your blocks. They often will help you with a lot of this. They will talk about things that will make you feel uncomfortable, but these are the things that you need to unearth in order to become the best version of yourself. Because yes, we're talking about the divine feminine, but this is ultimately you becoming the best version of yourself in this lifetime. Once you're able to then work through these blocks and figure out what is really stopping you from being able to be in this free-flowing energy of divine feminine, you are then able to be more open, more receptive to expressing your needs, expressing your desires. You're more connected to yourself, and things just become, the littlest thing makes you happy. Like if you receive flowers, or if somebody just remembers something that is very special to you, and you receive this, you have more gratitude, you're more grateful. And it's because you now have this open heart, and you are no longer suffering from these wounds that had been buried for so long via those blocks that you were encountering, which had you have that masculine shield up through the whole process. And you learn that you don't always need to be in control, okay? Sometimes things are going to happen just the way they are, and that's just the way it is. So when you learn to let go control, and I'm not talking about like just letting people like take over the steering wheel of your life. I'm not telling you to do that. But what I mean by that, sometimes you cannot control people's actions. You cannot control the things that can happen in your life. Like if unforeseen things happen in your life, you can't control it. But if you learn to just do more introspection, become still, meditation, these are things that you could do to allow you to let go of control and just go with the flow. Go with the flow. When you learn that, you step into this confidence, you step into this aura that just radiates, and you just become a different you become your higher self. There's a difference between when you're in a wounded version of yourself and when you're healing and you become that butterfly that blossoms and blooms into the divine. Openness also allows for vulnerability, which deepens connections with your people around you that's in your inner circle, because during those removals of those blocks, you're able to build a really beautiful support system around you. You'll find your tribe. You'll find your tribe of people that understand you better. Maybe there was a reason why you weren't jiving with that one friend, or you weren't jiving with that partner. It's because they were not going to be with you through the entirety of your life. Some people are in your life for a reason, and some people are in your life for a season. This is not an old phrase. It's something that's coined and told many times, but it makes perfect sense. Not everybody's going to be a part of your journey in this life, and you need to just learn that early on so that you're able to move on and become the best version of yourself. Because yes, you may love that person. Yes, that person may have made you, feels amazingly special. But if they're constantly talking down to you, being derogatory towards you, making you feel some way of that angst, that anxiety, that person does not belong in your life. That person, that situation, that job, whatever it may be, does not belong in your life. So now you're going to figure out ways, because now you've been meditating, you've been scripting, you've been writing, you've been doing these things that help you to get those answers to the next step in your life. I'm looking over here because I'm looking for the book. Stepping into your divine feminine, you need to learn to be more grateful. And simply by writing a couple little journaling prompts, this is my favorite book when it comes to gratitude journaling. It is the gratitude journal. It's the 5-minute journal. I feel like I have more than one of these books, but it's the 5-minute journal. This might be a knockoff now that I think about it. I could have sworn it might have changed its name. It used to be called the 5-minute journal because it only takes about 5 minutes of your morning, and you also do it at night. And it just helps. The prompt, actually, you can get this on Amazon. I'll link this in my Amazon store, and I'll link it down below. It usually has a quote as well as just some prompts. 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things that you want that would make today great, and then your daily affirmations. Okay, I am affirmations. And then you're going to do this at night before bed, and it's acts of kindness from today. What could have made your day better? So it's all about self-reflection. Having gratitude is so important, tapping into this divine feminine, because when you're not grateful, it's very hard for you to become abundant, because you're going to come from a place of lack. The place of lack is not feminine. Basically what you're doing when you're not making sure that you're coming from a place of gratitude. When you say thank you, when you say thank you for the smallest things, just people and things, just everything just starts to flow in a bit better. So remember, try the gratitude journaling. Try it for a week. I notice when I don't gratitude journal, I'm going to be honest, when I do not physically write in my gratitude journal, I don't have a good week. I don't know what it is about just writing down things that I'm grateful for. And it could be so small. It could be, I'm so happy and grateful that I have water to drink. I'm so happy and grateful that I have function in AC in South Florida. It doesn't need to be anything grandiose. It could be something very small. And you doing that is just going to open you up to more abundance. And not only will it open you up to more abundance, but it helps you to be in the present moment. And we often forget how important that the present is. The present is it's now. You can never get this moment back. You can never get these seconds back. Time is very precious. So when you always remain in the present moment, it is a gift. I know when I have had experiences in my life, and this is every day. Like, I am just always making sure that I'm staying present. I could be driving on the street daydreaming, but it's not really daydreaming, but it's more so me just being present in the moment, being so grateful that I can get in my car, drive down the road, go to a nice gym, work out, have a good sweat. You know how many people wish they can do something like that? And I'm not trying to say it as if I'm trying to be better than anybody else, but no, it's my form of being grateful, So just an example for you. One of the things you should start doing is to receive better. By receiving better, if you wear a nice outfit or do your makeup or do something nice and somebody gives you a compliment, do not self-deprecate yourself. Do not do that. Instead of doing that, make sure that you receive the compliment. You say thank you, and you apply that to every aspect of your life. Because when you block that by saying some self-deprecating things, you're then telling the universe that you're not worthy of that compliment. You're not worthy of nice things. You need to be sending a congruent message to the universe when it comes to receiving, okay? If you are in a very healthy, thriving relationship, it's cohesive, it's free-flowing, and you are complimenting each other. Like, things are just jive really well. I don't know how else to explain it. There is receiving on both ends during that receiving process. And that's why I mentioned throughout this video that this is not just geared towards women. I am talking to women mainly, but this is not just geared towards women. This applies to men too, because it's a part of all of us being both the masculine and the feminine, but obviously managing to master both and making them the yin and the yang. And when I say that, I mean neither are superior and neither are inferior. They're balanced with each other. When you learn to balance both of them, that's your yin and your yang, your masculine and your feminine, trickles over into all aspects of your life, your work, your relationships. When you balance that, because that's why I brought up the business woman. Yes, she's a woman, but she's also in her masculine because she's running a business, right? She's an authority figure. And then she also uses that feminine energy to help balance, to bring more introspection into her business mindset, right? So she's able to then have this booming, blossoming business as a woman, but she's balanced that. Having too much of either will put you into your ego, put you into your wounded feminine or your wounded masculine. We can talk more about that in another video. A lot of people talk about this healed girl summer. A lot of that is you simply doing shadow work. You have a shadow work workbook. I'll link it down below. It is basically how to manifest effortlessly. But when I really thought about it and I looked at all the exercises I put in the book, it's basically you doing shadow work. And it's imperative for you to do that because a lot of people will manifest from a place of their wounded feminine or masculine, and then they will not get exactly what they were looking for, and it's because they didn't do the shadow work. They didn't dig deep. They didn't dig in and see what was actually triggering them, what their inner childhood traumas may have left into their adulthood. And when you start to speak to that younger version of yourself and tell her that or him or her that she's safe, your life changes. If you're interested in that, I'll link it down below. The video was heavy. I felt like I had to share this message with you guys. And when you learn to introspect, you find things that need to be healed and you work on them, and everything just falls into place like little jigsaw puzzles. You don't have to run away from the things that you were meant to do in this lifetime. YouTube I took a break, right? And I always come back because this is something I'm meant to do. I love doing it, and I'll sit for hours and edit these videos down. I'm just doing this in one clip, but it takes me hours to edit these videos. And once I get the product up, once it's finished and I post it, it feels so good. And then when you guys comment, I always try to comment right back to every comment. Definitely let me know what type of video you want me to do next. I'm thinking I might talk about self-confidence. If you have any video ideas, definitely comment them down below. And I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will keep these videos coming. Bye.
All in my phone, I got options, and I don't wanna tell you to drop it, but I don't wanna play your